above all, don't forget to watch Evil Dead Chicks Top 10.
The Deadites on Deck Crew! Come join us on the channel in the horror shop. Evil Dead Chick and her pals. Poe! Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel! And Vincent the Ghoul! We love horror and heavy metal! We love to entertain and inform, and best of all, we love to have fun! We are the Deadites on Deck Crew! Stop by and see us today!
Hi, I am Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel. Don't forget to watch Evil Dead Chick on Deadites on Deck on YouTube. Oh, and subscribe, man!
Watching movies, Evil Dead Chick and the gang, funny, strange, hysterical, or just plain bang bad. This weekend just got amazing. It's a watch-along weekend. Horror and sci-fi, comedy and more. We got it all this weekend. This weekend just got amazing. It's a watch-along weekend. Horror and sci-fi, comedy and more. We got it all this weekend.
Howdy, gang. And hopefully y'all can hear me and stuff. So I probably didn't take myself out of the stream earlier. So if if you can't hear me, you're probably not hearing me. So hopefully somebody will put something in the chat if for some reason you can't hear me. So I'm going to be joined periodically by a not Poe, not Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, not Vincent the Ghoul, but I am going to be joined by the new and improved Jallo Steve, because I can't get the real Steve on here. So go ahead and make an appearance here,
I
Jallo.
can't believe I am watching this again.
So he may be popping up periodically throughout the watch along for My Bloody Valentine. We are watching the uncut version, and the poet is right. If you've never seen this, you're going to be in for a treat. I've got my moose head. Like I say, I drink this one time a year on Valentine's Day or around Valentine's Day to celebrate this great, in my opinion, Canadian slasher. One of my favorites. It's when the Canadians were knocking it out of the ballpark, in my opinion, with the horror films. I also drink it in memoriam of several individuals who have passed on that were in this great film. Paul Kellum, who plays TJ in the film, he passed away in the last few years. Keith Knight passed away several years ago. And Alf Humphreys also passed away more recently. Alf Humphreys plays Howard in the film. Keith Knight plays Hollis, one of my favorite characters in the film. I'm also partial to the character of TJ, played by Paul Kellums, in the film. So that's the two reasons why I drink Moosehead around this time of the year. So, and hopefully you guys and gals won't mind if I'm eating a little chicken noodle soup. My stomach's been kicking around. I know you guys and gals don't need to know that, but that hence me eating a little soup. I'm not really like super sick or anything, and the stomach's just not been feeling right. And I wanted to eat something kind of bland, but also put something into my system. But I see that the poet's in here, Kits is in here, and we've got a few other people I see by the count that are in here. I don't know what this is. I need to quit having my phone back here when I'm doing these, but I keep it here just in case, family or something was trying to get a hold of me. But we are going to be watching My Bloody Valentine tonight. I am watching the uncut version. I do have a link in the chat for the Daily Motion version. I couldn't really tell if it was the uncut version or not, but it won't be bad if you have to watch the cut version, the theatrical version. You'd just be missing a little bit more of the gore. So I will be watching on my Shout Factory or Scream Factory Blu-ray. And I am queued up. About 15 seconds in on my Blu-ray, it says Paramount, a Gulf Western company, if people want to go ahead and get queued up on their respective copies. Kitschy says someone from my end might show up too. Okay, that's cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate anybody and everybody that wants to kind of come and hang out with me and the rest of you guys and gals tonight as we enjoy My Bloody Valentine. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes so that everybody that's going to be watching along can get queued up. If you come in later, or if anybody that's in here now needs a timestamp at any point in time, I'd be glad to give that to you. Hey, Maxwell, you say, so I watched the remake earlier today, and that one doesn't play fair. I was like, wait, how is that possible? Yeah, I mean, the remake is okay, and if I'm to be totally honest, it's one of the better remakes out there. But it still has nothing on the original, in my opinion. But I'll get a little housekeeping stuff out of the way to give people time to get queued up on their copies of My Bloody Valentine. And I have my shirt on. This is a mashup I made of me as the minor. And it says My Bloody Valentine, 45 Years of Terror. It's just a little logo I made to put on a shirt for tonight. I do have a Fright Rags t-shirt that is My Bloody Valentine, but I thought, hey, I'll make something new and different. Thank you, Kits. Kit says, hi, cool. My phone's just going off like crazy. Mostly junk stuff, not anything that I really need to be paying attention to. But I do want to remind you, I've got a couple of live streams for tomorrow evening. At 5 p.m. Eastern time will be another Evil Dead Chicks Top 10. You saw, if you were in here early enough, you saw the intro for it. Evil Dead Chicks Top 10 Things That Burn My Bacon about modern horror films. So, if you're curious about what burns my bacon about modern horror films, you might want to tune in tomorrow. If you can't tune in when I'm doing it live, you can always watch it on the replay. There will also, as there has been the last few weeks, another My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys and gals might get to see me twice tomorrow. DePote, you say, I don't want to give away anything, but there is one kill in this that you don't like. Ah, okay. Well, I guess when we get to it, the poet, you can mention that because I'm kind of curious about which one it is. Kit, you say I will tune into that. I want to see how similar we are with that modern horror pet peeves. Yeah, I'm kind of curious too, kids, because we're a lot alike on many things. Um, but I've got those two coming up. The My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade will be banishing the green-eyed monster, folks. Um, so you look forward to all that. Plus, hopefully, I'll have uh, some exciting stuff, celluloid trash, horror mania, insomnia cure, etc., coming up this coming week for you guys and gals. And yeah, I guess that's it. I guess we'll go ahead and get this movie started. Again, I'm 15 seconds in on my Screen Factory Blu-ray on the uncut version. 15 seconds in where it says Paramount Gulf Western Company. Oh, it's the one in the all messed up montage. Okay, I got you. I know exactly which one that is. All right, so we're going to go do the countdown and get this party started. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Press play. We're off and running, folks. I don't know the budget offhand, the poet, for this. Let me see if I can find that information for you, though. Somebody else may know it before I do, possibly. Uh, I thought it might tell me. Sometimes I can. Okay. The budget in Canadian dollars was 2,300,000 estimated. It made a gross in U.S. and Canada of $5,672,031. The gross worldwide it made was $5,673,343. Everything froze for a second. The poet. Hopefully I'm back. Sometimes it will cause me to freeze when I go to another tab. I think I've got too many tabs open. I probably need to close some out because sometimes it does that. Hopefully I'm back. If I froze for you guys and gals, hopefully I'm back now. And Kits, of course, she was on the ball there. Okay. I'll try not to do that too much more so I won't go away. You did a film study of this in your media class? That's awesome. Looks like an X-Files episode. And I said Paul Kellums. I meant Paul Kellman, folks. Sorry. I'm a little off my game sometimes. I realized I said that earlier. Kid, you say StreamYard did that to you the other day where we all froze, but people took screenshots and made memes. So, oh my goodness. I hope nobody makes any memes of me, but if they do, I won't be mad. There is the late Alf Humphreys there playing Howard, and there's Paul Kelman we just saw, and Keith Knight there as Hollis. There's Neil Affleck. No relation to Ben Affleck. I thought Paul Kelman was a cutie back then. He always reminds me of a Canadian Bruce Campbell. Yeah, kids. I'm 5 minutes and 19 seconds in. They just, well, TJ at least is, the guys are starting to leave the mine and get in their vehicles. That's right, the poet. Harry Warden is back in black. If it wouldn't get me in trouble, I'd take the Back in Black song and have Harry Warden, footage of Harry Warden in it. Kitschy say I had to switch to the Daily Motion version. Okay. Yeah, a lot. I mean, I don't have anything against ACDC. I love their music. But yeah, a lot of these musicians and bands are not friendly with their their property. And that the short-haired chick there is Helene or Helen Udi. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but she was on Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. If any of y'all watched that show, yeah, there are some interesting eyebrows in this film as well. Alf Humphreys was also in The Immortal Funeral Home, which was another Canadian film that also has Leslie Dawson in it and uh, Kay Hawtrey, I think, playing her grandmother. Hey, Moosehead. You will see a lot of Moosehead, and that's, that's why I'm drinking this tonight. Kitchi said this small town looks like the college town near me. Oh, that's cool. Hey, Tom. Timestamp is 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Tom. And that's Don Franks there playing Chief Newbie. And man, he has an incredible wig, folks, because they said when he got off the plane, um, he had long hair all down his back, I think braided. I think he was very hippie-ish back in the day. And they kind of, I guess, looked funny. And he said, "That's all right. I got a really good wig." So I can't even tell, you could have had me fooled. This is I guess, the first real big shock in the movie, other than the kill at the very beginning. You are right, Tom. The use of the color red is very clever. Maxwell, you say you never knew it was a wig till I mentioned it. Yeah, I mean, I did not know about it until I think I was watching one of the documentaries, like the making of or whatever, and they talked about it, about Don Franks and his hair. Of course, the Moosehead bottles back in the day had more color on them than they do now, but a Moosehead's a Moosehead. And that the bartender is Jack Van Evera, who plays Happy the bartender. And Jack Van Evera was in several Canadian films, and he was also in Funeral Home, playing Mr. Chalmers in the flashbacks. Um, well, Maxwell, it wasn't too hard. I live in the big metropolis of Louisville, Kentucky, so there are several different liquor places around. But I wouldn't suggest, if you have a liquor bar near you, you're probably not going to find it. But some of the other ones, like there's oh, what is that place called? It's a wine and spirit shop, and there are several ones that just say wine and spirits, and they have 6 packs in the bottles of this Moosehead. Like I said earlier, I only get it once a year around this time of the year and drink it in honor of this awesome movie and in memorial of some of the people in this movie that have passed away. The poet, yes, I believe I have the 4K, but of course I can't watch the 4K back here in the computer room, so I am watching my Blu-ray. So if y'all either live in a big city or you live close to a big city and you want to get you some moose head, I would try the bigger cities. Probably I couldn't have found this back home where I'm from because I'm from a very small place. Kid, you say this bar looks like the bar in your town? That's cool too. Because I mean, I don't make it a habit to just hang out in bars or anything, but the atmosphere in a lot of small town bars like this one here, I don't know, they're just cozy and friendly and stuff. Kid, she say it's just missing the guy that dresses like a pine cone. Yes, you read that right. So I take it there's a guy that dresses like a pine cone in your local bar. Kid, you said the atmosphere is definitely more cozy. I I can only go to a bar if the local bands are playing. Hey, 80. Oh, 80 is from your neck of YouTube. Awesome. Well, welcome, 80, and I hope you keep returning. Between Tom and Kits, I've gotten a lot of new people, and I'm just absolutely loving it because everybody that I've been introduced to by both of them has been really cool. You said Mercy's your spooky potato pal. That's awesome. We need more spooky potato pals, I think. We need to summon Davy, kids. And I'm hoping Steven gets to show up tonight too. I know that he said last night that he had to work tonight, but hopefully he'll, you know, be able to get off in time to come and hang out with us for a little bit. I'm gonna miss Kits, and I mean, I'm sure Kits will turn up as much as she can, but she's gonna be off of her staycation this next week. So I've enjoyed having her, in here for just about everything I've done this past week. You can multitask like a fiend. I can too, Kits. On good days, as long as I'm not having a bad day, I can do that as well. I learned wearing many hats, working for public libraries, that I can multitask like a fiend as well. You're right, Depo. If they didn't have that crazy dance, it wouldn't have happened. Of course, then we wouldn't have this great movie either. So, no dancing in 1981 would have prevented all slashers. Uh-oh. Mabel, you shouldn't have played that damn dance. Yeah, that's right, kids. Let's hope she didn't get Klaus's Valentine. Ugh. Okay, so Steve never did answer me this, and I guess it's probably because he didn't know the answer. But is this a Canadian thing, folks? Did back in the day, did they heat up TV dinners on car motors and junkyards? Or just on one of their car motors? They just happened to be in the junkyard, I guess. I've always wondered that when I watched this. Kids, you say, I mean, I've known a few that did. I didn't know if it was an American thing too, back in the day that they did that, or was it just a Canadian thing? Kids, you say, but that's because they were working late on their cars. Your dad did the same thing. I keep wanting to ask my dad of when he was younger, in his younger days, if he did that or he knew any guys that did that. 80, you say, I suppose you could. I never tried it. DePote, you say, I heard of heating up food by cats. Ah. It kind of makes me want to go try it. Of course, I don't think Steve would want me trying to. He's the only one of us that has a vehicle. I don't think he'd want me trying to cook a TV dinner on his car motor. Oh, by cars. Okay. Autocorrect. Was that what it was, the poet? 80 said they used to come just in aluminum foil so it would work. Yeah, I remember TV dinners back when I was a kid, and yeah, it was just basically aluminum foil. It was thin enough that you probably could have done that. Kids, you say, my dad had a junkyard when I grew up, so if he had to work out and he would warm his food up in his truck. That's cool. I love it that you guys got answers to give me, because like I said, that was something I always wondered about when I watched this movie.
Tell me again why I am doing this. Oh, I forgot. It's because you made me.
Yeah. Y'all might see Jello Steve from time to time uh, during this watch along. Yeah, the poet, you said now it's plastic, can't do it. Yeah, that's right. Kids, you say it's a curious thing for sure. Kids, you say, yeah, the plastic melts even when you warm it up properly in the house. Yeah, if you're not careful. And as I said, or I think I said, there's a Friday, February 13th in this movie, just like we just had yesterday. So that's something that doesn't happen very often, but when you have a Valentine's Day that runs on a Saturday, you're going to have a Friday the 13th before that. So that's pretty cool. Kid, she said, the guy with the mustache and little glasses definitely means business. Yeah, I believe you're talking about Keith Knight there, who plays Hollis, kids, and um, I absolutely love Keith Knight. I am, like I said, uh, Paul Kelman is easy on the eyes, and he's a little cutie on here, but I am absolutely in love with the character of Hollis. I just absolutely love that character. And Steve reminded me when we did a watch along for this or a commentary for it a few years back, that Cynthia Dale there, the redhead with Lori Howyer there, um, that she was, well, Steve says she's hot. And he said also she was in some kind of aerobics or exercise movie. Maybe it was called Heavenly Bodies or something like that. You like Harriet the barmaid, the poet? Yeah, she's cute. She's cute too. Tommy say yes, dates like Peter Cushing, Vincent Price, Christopher Lee had the same birthday celebrations. I did not know that, but that's cool. Oh, and Kit says that's also her dad's birthday as well. Awesome. Now we're going to be coming up on the death scene that the poet doesn't like. Is it that you don't care for it, or you just hate that what happens to poor Mabel, the poet? Because I kind of hate what happens to her. Because I like the Mabel character, but she was the one playing in that damn dance. Yeah, yeah. Something doesn't look right about that dryer, does it, folks? The one next to the one that Chief Newbie just opened. Yes, that's right. Mabel just wanted everybody to be happy. Oh, uh-oh. But still, yet, if you're watching the uncut version, I mean, they pulled out all the stops with this stuff. No, I agree, Maxwell, that Mabel didn't deserve that. Yeah, you're right, kids. At least the cops in this one actually investigate more so than the cops from last night. Exactly. More competent. Chill out, Axel. Somebody pissed in his cornflakes this morning. No, you're right, the poet. And it moves fast. This is another one that has fantastic pacing in it. Um, there's not really any slow parts. The characters are enjoyable for the most part. There's not any, I guess, dead wood in this movie. Everything serves to move the movie along really well. So even if it was a little bit longer, I don't think it would seem long. It's only an hour and 33 minutes and 2 seconds, the uncut version. Kids, you say, see, that's why last night when we were talking about pacing, the Conjuring pacing throws me off. This movie is very flowy without making it rushed. Gotcha. Well, gang, I hate to, but I'm going to have to take my obligatory bathroom break. So I'm just going to take myself out of the stream temporarily and I'll be right back. You guys continue to watch and I'll be back. All right, gang, I'm back. Kids, you say, I think the Conjuring pacing wastes too much time and you're just looking at darkness for too long. I could see that. Maxwell, you say good quality actors can really make a difference. The leads are all great. Yep. The poet, you're right. This and the first Friday the 13th are kind of like mysteries. Yes, Tom, I agree. Talking actors and good finds, Bruce Campbell really was a find. I love Bruce Campbell too, kids. They don't call me the Evil Dead chick for nothing. So I switched over. My stomach's feeling better, so I'm going to have bacon grilled cheese lays. Have any of y'all tried these? I'm addicted to them now. You're having some right now, kids? Man, we must be more in sync than I thought. We want the same chips. Timestamp 37 minutes, 36 seconds, the poet. The kids, you say these aren't bad. No, like I said, I'm addicted to them now. This was a do us a flavor winner. Who? So, hey, Stephen, welcome. I was just saying that I hope that you got to join us. Yes, I was. I was asking about you or talking about you. Cheddar and sour cream. I love those too, the poet. Apparently, we're going to find out Happy shouldn't have been out here trying to set the kids up to be scared. Maxwell, you say nobody ever listens to the old man's warnings in these movies, do they? No, they never do. Stephen, you say, "Oh, I'm glad you thought about me today. I thought about you, Evil Dead Chick, and the others on here." Yeah, I think about every one of you guys and gals because, I think like I said, I think we've got a really fun group right now. Kids, you say, "Well, there's a bad prank, haha." Yeah, right in the eyeball. And then getting dragged too when he's still hung on that pickaxe. I agree to both. The uncut version is insane, especially after years of watching this as a cut version. When the uncut version first came out, it was like, whoa. Maxwell, you say Happy should have taken his own advice. Kids, you say, when I was a zombie in a haunt, we used bubblegum balls for eyeballs so it looked like I was chewing my victim's eye. Pretty tasty eye, though, if you was using gumballs. That's right. Happy is now unhappy. Uh-oh. Chief Newbie's thinking that that's going to be a bad box. It's not going to be a box of chocolates, is what he's thinking. That's right, kids. He shouldn't have asked if it was quiet. He jinxed himself. Um, Tom, 41 minutes, 53 seconds. Yeah, he could have just went home and went to bed. Oh, from Mabel. Apparently, Mabel was sweet on Chief Newbie. I love Hollis. Did I say that enough? Poor sweet Mabel. Unlike you guys, she didn't deserve that at all. There's the poet's woman, Harriet the barmaid there. Is it just me, or is the character of Sylvia, did her hair change lengths between a few scenes? It looks longer there to me. Maxwell, you say, speaking of chips, I'm hooked on those Doritos Golden Sriracha dipped in queso. Ooh, I haven't had those. I'll need to look for those. The poet, you say, yeah, it's a shame what happens to her. Yeah. Kid, you say it seems a bit so. So I guess I'm not just seeing things then. Oh, you don't want a hot dog, dude. Come on. You don't need a hot dog. Told you didn't need that hot dog. Kids, you say, no, I noticed that a couple of times. I watched this, so now I feel like it's crazy. Ew, hot dogs. My husband doesn't like boiled hot dogs, but if they're cooked in the oven, like grilled or in the microwave real quick, but he does not like boiled hot dogs. Yep, she was going to break a movie rule, the poet. You are correct. Kids, you say, lost his life over an Oscar Mayer wiener. Yeah, like I said, he didn't need that hot dog. Kids, you say, my dad had a midlife crisis and bought a commercial hot dog roller a few years back. That's all he would make. I'm a hot dog town. I would imagine so. There probably a lot of hot dogs being cooked.
can't stand this anymore, Dana. Make it stop.
Sorry, Jello Steve. Can't be helped. We're in the middle of a wash along. I agree to Poet. They really need a sequel. And George Mahalka talked about it for a little while. Kits agrees a sequel would be good. The party, they Stephen, they stopped the dance, but the kids decided to have a party, a Valentine's party. So the killer's going on and trying to kill people. That's right, kids. Killer is a killjoy. He hates fun. Much like your dad's ex-girlfriend. I don't want to be around people that don't like to have fun. You're right, Tom. You say, I mean, red here and there, the dress, etc. There's a door and the railing, and all that is red. Ah, right, Tom. You say yes, and in Hell House too, the color green is used when there's a ghost. Kids, you say at least this group of friends is believable too. I think it's weird in modern slashers where, like, the friend groups you don't believe would even talk to each other if not forced by the script. Yeah. That's right, kids. Kids, you say, tisk tisk, someone didn't read How to Survive a Horror Movie. See, this shows the guy's brain is always on sex because she says, you know what we need? And of course, he's got a condom. And she's like, no, I mean a couple of beers. Could you say that guy's hair doesn't match his face? What a weird cut. Y'all don't notice the burnt guy in the refrigerator there? I agree, Maxwell. You say this is a great sequence we're about to watch. No, I don't think it's John. Something tells me it's not John. I agree, kids. The lighting in this film is good. I think it just adds to the overall atmosphere. This upcoming kill. Oh, there's Happy. Um, this upcoming kill here with Sylvia was one I remember them showing a quick shot of in Gorezone magazine back in the day. Anybody remember Gorezone? It was like the sister magazine to Fangoria. I actually like Gorezone better, but I remembered seeing like a quick shot of this scene. And at that time, we didn't have the uncut version. And, I thought, boy, wouldn't it be cool to see the uncut version? I never dreamed that years later we would get to see it. That's right, Devote. There are night scenes, but not too dark. One funny thing here, when he discovers Sylvia's body, it's like you can obviously tell she's hanging up by something. Something's causing her to be off the ground. And it's like it takes him an extra half a second to realize that she's dead and got this shower head going through her mouth. So we didn't get to see all this. I think we originally we got to see just a quick shot. That's right, kids. I think you're right. It's because this blood needs to go back to his brain. He was too busy thinking nasty. He didn't care. She just died. Agreed, kids. You say, although that's the calmest I've seen a character finding someone dead. Maxwell, you say his head was still somewhere else. Apparently so. I think, Tom, that they filmed a lot, especially a lot of the mine stuff They filmed, I believe, it was called The Princess Mines, and I heard that the town was so excited they were going to film a movie here that they went in and they cleaned up the mine, and the film crew was like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to have to go dirty this back up." We couldn't bear to tell them, hey, we liked it because it was dirty and run down. Yeah, I always thought that story was funny. They're like, these people were like, "Oh, the movie people are coming. Let's clean this mine up." Yeah, kids, you said that's like the people that would clean their house before the housekeeper comes. Like, I mean, deep clean, not the daily to do list. I'm so claustrophobic now. There is no way I could do this. Yeah, right, kids. You say, yeah, I couldn't do this either. No closed spaces and no deep ocean. DePoe, you say you feel bad for the love triangle in this? Yeah. Oh, they just have to go off by themselves, don't they, Harriet and Mike? I'm not sure if they're supposed to be teens or college age students. I was always thinking maybe college age students, but I could be wrong. Kids, you say, yeah, it seems more college age, young adult. And the fact that um, TJ apparently went out to the West Coast and couldn't make it on his own and had to come back home um, leads me to believe they weren't. high school students. You're right, kids. But I mean, people also believe the teens in Greece, so who knows? Stephen, you say, I'd often wondered if David and Jack from An American Werewolf in London were teenagers, but I wasn't sure they were college students. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Davey, you say Steve McQueen in the Blob. That's cringe. It is if you actually think about it. So, folks, we're basically at the last quarter of the movie. And like the poet said a little bit earlier, this movie is not really all that long, but the movie is so well paced that even if it were longer, it wouldn't seem long because a movie that's well paced is not going to seem long. I do like the Blob movie. I also like the remake of the Blob from the 80s as well. Oh, yes, I've seen that. It's been a while, Tom, but I've seen it. Teenage Werewolf with Michael Landon. Yeah, I feel bad for Michael Landon too. Yes, he was a great producer as well as a great actor. Steven, you said the remake from the 80s was awesome. My birthday and Kevin Dillon, who starred in that, were exactly 4 months apart. Oh, cool. Naughty, naughty, Mike and Harriet. Davey, you say now you want to watch both blobs again. Blob's double feature. Featuring a narrative with Klaus. Uh, we're never going to stop thinking about Klaus Kinski now. I love the remake of The Blob too, Maxwell. And also the Cronenberg's remake of The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. I love that one as well. A well done remake back in the days when they weren't remaking everything in sight. You had a lot better remakes at that time. The Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake in the 70s was great. I think Klaus and the Blob would have been great too. Yeah, kids, exactly. I wish they would remake movies that are awful, not movies that were done right the first time. Yeah, that is creepy, Maxwell. You said, could you imagine being down there and hear someone smashing the lights? Like remake things because the plot actually is decent. Yeah. Um, if that's something you guys and gals would be interested in, Stephen, I would love to do that. Oh yeah, the Cape Fear remake is another good one, Tom. Yeah, exactly, Davey. A proper remake of The Fog would be awesome. Not that piece of garbage we got a few years ago. That's interesting, kid. She said, I don't even think the remake of The Fog should even use the name The Fog. Well, I'll definitely keep that in mind. I used to do like the slasher fest and stuff like that. I used to do those as double features, and the watch alongs I used to do them on Saturdays and Sundays. And if you guys and gals would like for me to bring that back, since I'm starting to get some kind of new blood in here and people are seeming to enjoy these things again, I would be glad to do that. Double features for the slasher fest. You know, watch alongs when I do them on a Saturday and a Sunday, and stuff like that, so we can just break things up a little bit or put something new on the plate. Kids, you say Sundays you don't stream at all, so you would love to stop by. Cool. Maxwell, you say I'm jealous of Tom seeing that in the theater. I watch it every 4th of July late at night. I agree, Tom, that this is the community of good ideas. Oh, man. Well, again, I'd like to say how much I love Hollis. This death bothers me because I like Hollis so much. Kids, you say he didn't deserve to die either. He was just being fat and jolly. He was just being Hollis, man. Tom, you say you also saw Terminator 2 around the time of Cape Fear. Awesome. Back when actresses could make facial expressions. I agree completely, Maxwell. Mabel and Hollis, two people that didn't deserve it. Yeah, Sarah's kind of taking charge here. Where earlier on, Patty seemed to be kind of the stronger one of the two. Now Sarah's, she's kicking ass and taking names now. We are officially down to about the last 20 minutes of the film, folks. This has seemed to have flown by. Um, that was actually Zombie, I believe, Davey, or Zombie Flesh Eaters, as it was known in the UK, that had the epic eye piercing scene. I know exactly which one you're talking about there. Although City of the Living Dead had some awesome scenes in it. The box, Tom, I don't think I saw that one. You almost walked out on that one. I'm, I'm sorry, kids, that you got dragged to that movie. Well, at least you guys will fall asleep, though, kids. Oh, yeah, Tom, I hate that. You say it was a mystery movie that was no mystery. Kid, she said, I knew a lady that got mad that Unsolved Mysteries never told what happened in the cases. I think there were rare instances that they did, but not very often. I agree, Davy. You're right. That's a good point, kids. You say, I mean, it's called Unsolved. Sometimes I think what they had was updates that may have happened, a year or more later after the original case. Kids, you say, I met Tony Todd and he was so cool talking about that movie. I never got to meet Tony Todd. I wish I had, though. Poor gang. Oh, that is so nice. You don't get that very often with people. You say he was so sweet. He told me to wait until we were out of the convention hall so he wasn't forced to make me pay for the combo. Well, they found Howard. Kid, she say, yeah, he really wanted to pick my brain on things too. It was really nice of him, and I learned a lot. Yeah, I think originally, Tom, that was Robert Stack. Yeah, the newer host was less creepy, kids. Ooh, Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. That one's good, Maxwell. We definitely did, kids. You say. So, what did we learn from this movie? Stop getting it on in the minds. I like Kiss okay. They're not my favorite band in the world, but I like them all right. Oh, I actually hate it that Patty gets killed too. Worst hate ever. Yeah, Stephen, I like a fair number of their songs. Like I said, they're decent. Not my favorite band or singers of all time, but I don't mind listening to them. Yeah, I mean, Tom, I agree. I mean, I've heard a lot about, Gene Simmons has a pretty shitty personality. Um, but, I've never tried to meet any of them. So, um, of course, Ace Frehley isn't around anymore. But God of Thunder, kids, you say it's got a nice groove to it. But most of them are ugly personalities. You say Ace was odd, really odd, and rude. See, I just hate to, I don't mind people bringing that up because it makes you aware of these things about people. But, you hate to hear that about people, or I do. Right, exactly, kids. You say you would think that they would want to be nicer because so many people love them. Stephen, you say you might like Blue Rodeo, Evil Dead Chick. They're a Canadian band. I've been to their concerts many times. They're good. I'll have to check them out, Stephen. Thank you. I'm always looking for, new bands or singers to listen to. Kids, you say you did piss off the woman that made Blair Witch Project, though not intentionally. She was just horrendous. I've heard things about her too, that she's weird at conventions and stuff. I saw her from afar at one convention I was at, but I didn't go up and meet her. I agree, Maxwell. Great ending coming up. There's just a few minutes. I'm an hour and 26 minutes in of an hour 33, the poet. Yeah, these cops are still a tad too late. Did they stop for donuts? Possibly. Sarah's getting that nice white dress all dirty. Why in the heck did she wear a white dress to a Valentine's party? Yeah, I agree, Kits. You can kind of tell that was scripted. Oh no, it's Axel. We're gonna find out why it's Axel. Really, kids? All you did was ask her if she was inspired by the McPherson tape and she got mad? Jeez, talk about thin skin. Holy cow. You say, yep, she went off on me trying to say I was telling her she plagiarized the movie. Holy cow, man. Yeah, exactly. You say, I just asked if you got inspiration because that's what we do as creatives. Exactly. We get inspiration from a lot of different places. Yeah, I agree, kids. I mean, just because you're asked something more than once don't mean you just go off on somebody. You didn't mean any harm by it. Oh no. Line arms. Yeah, this is fantastic and really creepy because we go right into from this Axel's ranting to that insane laughter and then the Ballad of Harry Warden. Yeah, extremely creepy. Yeah, I agree. That laugh, Maxwell, just cements the deal there. Now we're into the if you are listening to the soundtrack or you have the sound on, you can hear the the Ballad of Harry Warden playing. I agree, kids. You say I love evil laughs. We don't get enough of those in modern horror. No, not anyway near the amount that we should. Um, but as always, I'm going to stay with you guys and gals until the credits roll. And then if anybody, has anything they want to bring up either now or at the end of the credits, I'll stay until the discussion ceases and then I will go on my merry way. But I hope that many, if not all of you, are able to join me for the two live streams I've got coming up tomorrow evening for Evil Dead Chicks top 10 things that burn my bacon about modern horror. That should be interesting. And you guys and gals feel free to throw your ones in if I don't cover one that you were thinking about. Um, yeah, I do wish the remake was okay for this one. I didn't absolutely hate it, but yeah, I wish it was. I wish it had been a little bit better. But I've also got. Well, that'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. the Evil Dead Chicks Top 10. And then My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow evening, where I will be talking about banishing the green-eyed monster. Tommy said, best evil laugh, Predator laughing at the end, echoes of laughter. I'd forgotten about that one. So, gang, we have officially reached the end of My Bloody Valentine from 1981. Hopefully, y'all got to watch the uncut version along with me tonight. If you didn't, that's okay. There's hopefully still time. I'm going to close that out. But I want to thank Stephen and Kits and Tom and Maxwell and Davey, the poet. Just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. If I do miss you, folks, I didn't mean to. But I want to thank all you guys and gals for being in the chat with me tonight and keeping me company as we navigated through My Bloody Valentine. I definitely give it five deadites out of 5, folks. In fact, I'll go ahead and show my rating on here for you guys and gals. So 5 deadites out of 5. My Bloody Valentine definitely gets that. Kids, you say, I did have a friend lurking. She said, good live stream. She's shy, so I'm passing the message. Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate her being in here. I realize that not everybody feels comfortable getting in the chats. And maybe one day she will, feel comfortable, and she's always welcome, whether she's, lurking or she actually gets in the chat. It makes me feel good that people are actually wanting to tune in, right? Happy Valentine's Day, Stephen, and happy Valentine's Day, everybody else. I am sure, or I hope that everybody had a fantastic Valentine's Day, no matter what you were doing. Kid, you say, I'm sure she will over time. Yes, Tom, I've had fun the last 2 nights, and I have to give a lot of credit to you guys and gals that have been hanging out with me, because without you guys and gals, it would just be me in here, which a few months ago, that's pretty much what it was. The poet would spend time with me, but I didn't have a crowd or a gang of people in here like I do now. And I just want to say how much I appreciate all you guys and gals. Maxwell, you say, I think it would be great to do a watch along of the Fog remake just to hear your critique. Needless to say, the original is all time great with incredible atmosphere. Well, Fog remake would definitely be something that I would enjoy trashing, if y'all can permit me to say that. Who's winning the poll for the next watch along? Well, that's a good question, the poet. Let me take a look. I haven't looked in a minute. I do have polls out there for design choices for the new gourmet popcorn that I'm hopefully going to be having on the shop site at deadicesondeck.com. So let me scroll through here and check out. All right. So the watch along movie choices for Saturday, March 14th are Phantasm, The Changeling, and The Crazies from 1973. The Changeling is in the lead with 55% of the votes, followed by The Crazies, and Phantasm is trailing with 18% of the votes. And the watch-along movie choices for Saturday, March 28th are Popcorn, Demons, and Drive-In Massacre. And Drive-In Massacre, surprisingly, is winning with 45% of the votes. Popcorn and Demons are tied with 27% of the votes. So if you want to have some say so on what movies I'm going to do for upcoming watch alongs, be sure to get your votes in here before we get deep into March. Oh, did I freeze up again, the poet? Do you need me to repeat that? Because I can tell you the Changeling is winning for an upcoming one, and the one after that, Drive-In Massacre, is in the lead. Tom's wanting a Scanners watch along. Cool. I would be up for that. Maxwell, you say I haven't seen the remake since it was released. The Poet, you say the original, not the remake. And Kit says the Changeling is great. I absolutely 100% agree with you there, Kits, that the Changeling is a fantastic film. One of my favorite supernatural ghost films out there. And it was one that I didn't see for the longest time. And then I think it kept getting recommended to me, and that's why I watched it. But I want to thank also those of you that maybe didn't feel comfortable getting in the chat, or maybe you were watching this watch along on a device, whether you were unable to chat at the same time, like on a smart TV. I want to thank you guys and gals as well. And for those of you that didn't get to join us tonight live, and you watch this on the replay, I want to let you know that I appreciate all you guys and gals as well. I guess I'm going to call it a night for tonight. But thanks, guys and gals, for hanging out with me tonight. I had a lot of fun. I haven't even finished my moose head. I'm going to have to finish my moose head before the night's up. But I did drink the majority of it during this watch along, which is what I intended to do. But be sure to tune in tomorrow night. I'll be on here twice. Once at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for Evil Dead Chicks Top 10. And again at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for My Path to Becoming a Positive Renegade. Oh, it's my pleasure, kids. My pleasure. It is just, I've had a ball the last couple of nights, especially with you guys and gals hanging out with me. And I guess, as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Valentine's Day and your Saturday night, folks. And I had fun too, Maxwell. Thank you for stopping in. And I'll see everybody next time.